So you're thinking about moving to South Florida, and specifically you're thinking about moving to Palm Beach, Florida. If that's the case, this video is for you. So you're thinking about moving to South Florida, and you're thinking about moving to Palm Beach. On top of that, you're thinking about moving to the southern part of Palm Beach County, places such as Boca Raton, Delray Beach, possibly Boynton Beach. If that's the case, then this video is for you. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button over there in the corner. While you're at it, ring that bell. What that'll do is that'll help notify you each time we put out a new video. We put out new videos every single week. So if you're wondering what it's like to eat, sleep, and drink in this beautiful part of the world we call South Florida, if that's the case, this channel is for you. 16 years ago, my family and I relocated to this part of the world we called South Florida and Palm Beach, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find an honor to help people perhaps exactly like you do the exact same thing. We've helped so many people relocate to here in South Florida, and we absolutely love it. So if you're considering moving to here in South Florida, you have questions, you're wondering what's involved, well, there's a few ways to get a hold of us and ask people from our team. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. Two great ways is in the description and in the comments section, there's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll help set up some time so we could speak either over a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here in sunny South Florida. If you're thinking about moving to South Palm Beach, Florida, you need to watch this video. South Palm Beach, Florida, places such as Boca, such as Delray, is so different than the rest of South Florida, so different than the rest of Palm Beach. Let me give you a story about what we consider when we were thinking about moving down here, and let me give you an idea of what's involved and what those areas are like. One of the things I like to do when describing areas here in South Florida is to use the map. I think many people find this helpful. In this video, we're going to look at South Palm Beach, Florida through the map and explain from there. Okay, let's start with an overview of where we are here. Palm Beach is, roughly, depending on where you are, Palm Beach is about 40 miles north to south, and we are about 40 to 80 miles north of downtown Miami. When we first, a little story about what we did. We looked all over Florida. We moved here 16 years ago. We looked all over Florida, the Tampa area. We looked at Vero Beach. We looked at Orlando. We looked all over the place. We decided on Palm Beach. We initially started on looking at southern Palm Beach. We specifically started looking at Boca Raton. We decided against it. That's why the name of this video, Don't Move to South Palm Beach. Doesn't mean it's not necessarily right for you. It just wasn't right for us. And I'm going to go over some of the cons in this video when it comes to moving to South Palm Beach, Florida. So we're going to center here on Boca. This is the southernmost part of the county, is Boca Raton here. All right. What I have found, one thing I did not realize, when you look at, well, so first off, I'm going to cover this. I'm basically going to look at, this is, the biggest city in Palm Beach is West Palm Beach. And I'm going to go from basically Boca to maybe the touch on Boynton Beach here. But one of the things, when we looked at Boca, going back there, and then people call Boca instead of Boca Raton, I did not realize just how much traffic there was there. If you go from here, the ocean of Boca Raton, which, by the way, this area is very, very expensive. If you look here and go from here to western part of Boca Raton, it takes a long time. It doesn't look like much on a map. In fact, I'll even go one step further. If you look at Boca Raton, from here to here will take you longer than going from here to here in, let's say, the western community of Wellington. This thing is faster than this to this. That just gives you an idea of what's involved, of how busy it is there. So a couple of cons. Again, this is expensive. So when we looked at buying our house, we moved from New York. We wanted more room. We had about a 3,000 square foot home in New York, which some people say is big. It is pretty big. We wanted something larger, and we got it. And we found out to get what we wanted in Boca was really expensive. So that's one of the cons when it comes to moving to South Florida, is it can be really expensive. And not all parts of South Palm Beach is, but certainly in this area is. You know, I want to split Boca into 3 different segments, and I've never done a video on just specifically on Boca. I've had people ask about it, and I will get to that at some point. But this part here is downtown Boca Raton. There is a lot going on here. It is one of the things I've noticed is that one thing I know is that it is it's hard to park. So that's one of the cons when it comes to living in South Florida, and specifically Boca Raton, is it's really hard to park your car in this area. So there's a lot going on in this area. So if you want to go to some events and just travel downtown, rest assured you're going to have a hard time parking. There are a few places you can do it, but for the most part, you're going to be parking in the street. It's expensive, and you really want to know where you're going to park ahead of time. So that's one of the things I find. The beach here is right around here. You have most people, when they go to Boca, they're going to come down Palmetto as opposed to Glades. The main road through Boca is Glades Road. But the main beach is going through here, through Palmetto. Palmetto is on the more south side. This is Palmetto Park Road. And you take it up there, and you're going to go to this beach here, which is South Beach Park. It's beautiful. It's probably not as, I don't think it's as beautiful as the beach you have in Delray. We'll get to that. We'll get to Delray in a minute. I think Delray has one of the nicest beaches in the county. But again, 3 parts of Boca. Here is the eastern part, which is downtown. Got to throw this in because this is a big place. Florida Atlantic University. People call this FAU. It stands to when you hear FAU here in South Florida, they're referring to this, Florida Atlantic University. It's one of those universities that is like growing like wildfire. There's also Lynn Universities in Boca as well, which is a private school. But FAU used to be like a sleepy town, a sleepy college, and now it's getting, as more and more students and it gets more and more notoriety. The quality, I think, of the education is also going up, which helps. More and more people going there, and they're getting like football games, major football games. They're playing better teams. So FAU is actually a force to be reckoned with when it comes to football these days. It never was, trust me. When I first moved here 15, 16 years ago, they were not. But today, here in 2022, they are. Okay, moving on in Boca. We have the central part of Boca. Now, this is a little bit more, can be a little bit more residential. Again, it's still crowded, but in here you're going to have things like the Town Center Mall. The Town Center Mall is one of the bigger malls here in South Florida. Let's see if I can find it on here. It's right around here. I don't know why they don't have it labeled. There it goes. Town Center Mall at Boca Raton. It is, and it's very, how do you say? It's very high end. All the high end retailers go there. If you live in the Boca area, in South Florida area, and you want to go to a mall, this is probably the one you're going to go to. The other areas that we have malls is the bigger ones are the Wellington Green Mall up in Wellington. I showed you how to get to Wellington. And then there's the largest one, I think it's the nicest mall in Palm Beach. I'm told from a lot of people that it is the nicest mall in Florida, believe it or not, which is the Gardens Mall. I don't want to ruin my map going here, but that's up in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. But anyways, this is central Boca Raton. You see a lot of residential. I've done a video. I'm in the process of going through editing it now. It might not be out by the time of this release, but it will be out. There's an area here that is going to be big. It's called Lotus Palm. If you go up here, if you go down Lyons Road, which is here, there's a lot of communities up and down this road. Here's Lotus. That's the original Lotus. Now Lotus is the GL is the builder there, and they're building something right here. If you go directly south, it's right in here, and it's called Lotus Palm. It is an old age community, and it is going to be luxurious. GL is known for their 55 and older communities. They do all those Valencias you see. There's about 11 of them to date in Palm Beach. If you go up to Port St. Lucie, there's a place called Riverwalk, which I've had videos on, which is like a Disneyland for 55 and older people. People go there because it's more affordable. But anyways, Lotus Palm, which is going to be over here, is an all-age community. They are building an elegant entrance to it. There is right around here. There is there's some townhomes, and they want to. This is where they're going to do it. This golf course road is where they're doing it. There are some townhomes around here, which they're like, well, maybe that's going to help. It's going to hurt the entrance. What they're doing is they bought out the land along here, and they're beautifying along the land, and Lotus Palm is going to be right in here. Olympic Heights, by the way, is an A-rated school. It's a high school. My kids actually considered going there. If you live in Boca, in Western Boca, that's a great school to be districted for. It's a public school. Anyway, so they're building this up. So this is one of the things that if you're going to live in Boca, that's a place I would really consider. Here's the issue with that. It is expensive. And this is one of the cons when it comes to living in South Florida it's expensive. To get into realistically in Boca Palm, you're spending about $1.5 million. The lowest model is currently today is just the base price of the home is $1.1 million. After you add in the land and all that, you're going to be, and your options, you're going to be close to about $1.5 million. They have models that are $2 million. So that's one of the cons when it comes to living in South Florida, in South County, Palm Beach, is it's expensive. Continuing on, we're going to continue here with Boca Raton. This is not a Boca Raton video, by the way, but we're going to go move up and let you know where I'm getting at. And I'm going to go into my story a little bit more in depth at the end of this. This is Western Boca Raton. A lot of places, if you go further north up here, like in Boynton, you do not get that much growth. This is, again, Glades Road, the main road, which is where Lotus Palm is off of. The main road through Boca is crowded, and going from here to there, it's a ton of traffic. They built this area out here. They've got some great golfing out here as well. And they have a lot of residential, all these little things or communities out there. So a lot of people, West Boca is from a school perspective and a sporting perspective for schools. It's really high end lacrosse teams, rugby, and all kinds of stuff. Football, they have a good football team out there. So a lot of the people who couldn't afford Eastern Boca because they got priced out, settled in here and it's not cheap either. They settled in here in what we call West Boca Raton, Florida. So continuing, before I go north, down here, this is still considered Boca Woods Country Club is a huge community, and it's a golfing community. And if you're into golf and you're retired, it's something I would look at. They've got a lot of communities in here. I would love to go through more of them. Again, I'm gonna go through some of my go through Boca. It deserves a video just on its own. They got a big medical center here. This area down here reminds me, and we're getting down here, reminds me a lot of Broward County. And I don't know, just not for me. It's just not what fit my family. It might fit you. Also close to down here is Parkland, another high-end Western community in South Palm Beach. So now we're going to go a little bit north. This is your western thoroughfare through South Boca, through all of Palm Beach, certainly through South Palm Beach. So we're going to go up here, and this area here, Lyons Road, which we're going to go right through here. This is Lyons Road. This is where all the new construction is being built. So let me give you another con. One of the cons when it comes to moving to South Florida is these communities are expensive. The 55 and older community of Valencia Grande is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we have people looking in there and they love it. But again, you need to spend about $1.5 million. If you are looking in the northern part of Palm Beach County, places like Westlake and Arden and so forth, it's less money. In fact, I was meeting with my contact over at Lotus Palm about a week ago, and we said, yeah, there's some people that we send, because they're also both GL, they have GL presences in both, GL Homes presidents in both. Because yeah, there are some people that we send to Arden because it's less money. So you need a healthier budget when it comes to living in this area. So northern part of Boca is Yamato, which is this. It's a little bit more quiet. There are some nice communities off here. Clintmore again is again getting a little bit more north. Oaks of Boca Raton. I got to mention this. We looked at this community. We like this community. It's one of the communities we considered. If I were to move there at the time, this would have probably been the home that we wanted, the community we would have bought into. And it's now surrounded by such great places like Lotus and the Bridges. The Bridges, they had a home there that sold for $7 million, and they're recently one of the model homes. So it's held its value, obviously, but we decided to move more further north up here, primarily due to the fact that we were able to get more home for the money. All right, continuing. Well, I got to touch on this. This is a country club and a high-end community. The people here have very, very high standards, and I'll tell you why I say this is that we have people that I live a little bit further north, and we have people that have moved from this community into ours in Wellington, and they're like, well, in St. Andrews we do this, and in St. Andrews we do that, and I'm like, well, why did you move from St. Andrews? It is a nice community. Don't get me wrong. It is a golf community. It is a beautiful community. But you know, their standards are fairly high. The HOAs in some of these places, including there, are higher. And if you want to spend like Lotus and the new Lotus, their HOA is going to be somewhere in $670 roughly here in 2022. So you're going to spend more money for the activities in there. I got to get over to Delray. I spent too much time on maybe not too much, but I spent a lot of time on Boca. Let's get over to Delray. I love Delray Beach. I absolutely love Delray Beach. So I'm not telling you not to move to Delray, but you have to be consider a couple things when it comes to it. One of the nicest beaches, period. I love this beach. It is very busy. It is a great public beach. It is one of the best places to look for a sunrise, which those who follow the channel know I love to do. There are some if you get up early in the morning, you can park on the street in on this. Let me show you this A1A Ocean Avenue, they call it too. You can park here for free until 8 o'clock. So what I do is I drive through here. I come down here. This is Atlantic Avenue, which they call the Avenue. Here in Palm Beach, the people in the area call Atlantic Avenue the Avenue, because that's where everything happens in Delray, and it's a hot spot. You know, I mean, a lot of stuff goes on there. If you haven't seen it, you got to check out my Delray Beach videos. I've got an awesome places to know in Delray Beach. I've got the pros and cons of living in Delray Beach was a terrific video. Should get more views than it's getting, but it's a great video to describe this area. Anyways, when I come through here, I park on A1A. It's free until 8 o'clock, and there are a lot of people who do this. And there's like a group of people I notice go every time I go there. They put their chairs around and they do a little like talk it over time, and they discuss life and all that. And especially in the season, our season is November to about April here in South Florida. So we have a lot of people that come here that time of year. So in any event, Delray is great from that perspective, but it is expensive. If you want to live here on off like this area here on the little island here, you're going to spend a lot of money. So that's one of the cons when it comes to living in South Florida. Again, in Delray, it continues. It's expensive. We have found that a lot of the people, all the new constructions out this way, as I mentioned, that's where the biggest growth is in Delray. Northern, like Boca Bridges. I know it's called Boca Bridges, and the Bridges is technically Delray, believe it or not, because Delray is just north of Boca. So, anyways, we find the biggest growth here, but this area here is it's one of the nicest places to go out. If you are anywhere in Palm Beach and you want to go out to do something nice, Delray Beach is great. Atlantic Avenue is great. They have some restaurants here. They have the Deck 84, which is awesome. You can, I love walking. I walk this Intercoastal here. That's the Intercoastal come through here. You see a lot of boats come through here, which is nice. They have Lady Delray's parked here too, which is sort of cool. Right next to Veterans Park, which, here's my secret. If you want to park in Delray for free, Veterans Park, it might not be a secret after this video, Veterans Park is a place to go. Problem is, spots get taken pretty early. Pretty early. Some people are starting to find out about it. If I go early enough, that's where I park, because I can know I can park for free. Anywhere else here, you're gonna pay for it. But again, they have a cruise ship there. It's called Lady Delray, which is sort of cool. This Deck 84 is dining right off the Intercoastal, which is absolutely beautiful. But let me tell you this, one of the cons when it comes to living in Delray and South Palm Beach is it can be a little bit dodgy around here. I mean, this is a nice area. You're safe. This is like, reminds me of, and New Yorkers can appreciate this, you could walk Fifth Avenue at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and feel safe. I lived in Manhattan 11 years, and I know that because I used to do that from time to time. I lived in the Hell's Kitchen area. I would walk around when I got nothing to do, which was not often, but every now and again I would. I felt completely safe. If you walk Atlantic Avenue, you are safe. But there are some areas outside of the outside Delray that you have to be a little bit careful. And I just would not walk around here in 2, 3 o'clock in the morning like I would Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. It's just, you just need to be a little bit careful. The other thing, again, one of the things the themes I'm mentioning is the parking here is tough. You need to pay, basically. There's some lots here. One of my pet peeves is paying for parking. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like it. And anyways, you will have to pay for parking in this area. So that, and I'm going to quickly, but this is the beautiful part of the country, it really is. The mornings, like I'd like to go here Saturday morning, watch the sunrise, and they have bike clubs, which are sort of cool. So you'll see like a whole big, slew of 50 bikes all of a sudden coming up and down Ocean Boulevard. I said Ocean Avenue, it's Ocean Boulevard, really. And it's sort of cool. You can walk the beach, and not skateboarders, rollerbladers and stuff like that. Bicycling is a big thing here. You go up here. Once you go up here, and this is going to be my segue into Boynton. I love this ride here. There's some beaches, some smaller beaches, Gulfstream up through this way. Boynton Beach is not. Now I'm getting up here to Boynton Beach. Boynton Beach does not have the most famous beach. It is a little bit sleepy, but it's I consider it it's almost central to South Palm Beach. But I can enjoy the beach. I go out there from time to time. They've got St. George's over here restaurant. Let's see if I can find him up there. That people seem to like. Or Two George's Waterfront Grill. That's a famous restaurant in Boynton. Boynton we help a lot of people. We seem to find more people out this way in the western communities of Boynton. There's an area here along Lyons Road where we call the canyons. They have canyons this, canyons that. These are all the Valencias are too. A lot of people move. A lot of people are moving. It is a fast growing area, and that's what the people here. Boynton Beach, there's not as much growth in here, and there are some not so great areas. I find that Boynton is made up of like a lot of plazas. Here you go. Here's a plaza. There's a lot of these kind of plazas in Boynton. So it makes the shopping really good from that perspective, because you have these plazas. If you want to do shop, we live a little bit further up here, and we'll frequent this area just for the shopping and so forth. This mall, it is not a great mall in my opinion. And listen, I'm allowed to throw my opinion here now and again, right? It is a little bit sleepy. It is. I find people are moving. People are going to other malls. It's sort of like it might need what the Palm Beach Mall did. Palm Beach, up in West Palm Beach, there's now called the Outlets Mall. The Outlets Mall is fantastic. If you want to buy something, like you want to go back to school shopping, there's not a better place than the Outlets Mall in West Palm Beach. I think that's sort of what Boynton Beach needs here. So, if I find people, if you're going to move to South Palm Beach and you want to go to Boynton, I did a great video on, and it's getting some good watch time, on the pros and cons of living in pros and cons of Boynton Beach, Florida. A great video if you're thinking about this area. If you're looking at that area, I find more and more people looking west. This area here is a little bit older and crowded and maybe not as nice. You can see First Avenue, Second Avenue, and all this kind of stuff. It is older. In general, the people who have moved here to South Florida first started on the coast, and now we are in 2022, and more people are moving to the western communities, because that's where the builders are finding the land. Let's face it. I want to mention Aberdeen. It keeps popping up here. Where do we go? Aberdeen's on here somewhere. Aberdeen is a membership community in Boca Raton, in Boynton Beach. If we have people that look at these that say, wow, this has got a great. So Aberdeen is up here. It is it's one of those things where people are always saying, oh, I'd like to see this house, and because it looks big house, a lot of money. It's a membership community, and that's sort of what happens. People don't want to buy them, so the market value of these just don't increase. So again, we get a lot of people. If you want to know more about what's involved with that, reach out to our team. We'd love to help you know what that's about. Most of the people we help looking for homes here avoid those. I like this place, Enclave, the Estates of Boynton Beach. It's the Enclave, a newish community. It's a couple years old, and still a lot of houses. I know people that live in there and they absolutely love it. So, in a nutshell, let's just look at the overview. This is South Palm Beach, and I'm going to get, like as I promised, get to my story. We looked all over Florida. We decided that the reason we avoided this area and these areas, and instead went up here to the western communities in Palm Beach County, is we were able to get more house for the money. That was what's important to us. But if you're a lot of New Yorkers, I find, move to Delray, move to Boynton. When we meet with the builders down there, like such as Lotus Palm, as I mentioned, their main focus, they have people that buy these homes sight unseen. And it's because that's, New Yorkers, there's more money up there. The people, they're more established. They're selling, bigger houses, and they can afford it. So that is a big market. Boca and Delray are big markets for the Northeast, in particular New York. But again, we felt that although we're from New York ourselves, we felt we wanted a little bit more home. We had a young family now, and a little bit of an older family now. We wanted a little bit more of a quieter area, a little bit more rural, slightly rural. It's like a big suburb, the western communities of Palm Beach. But in a nutshell, if you're looking for, South Palm Beach has this, and Central Palm Beach has this. We'll help you figure out whatever it is, whatever makes sense for your family. That's what's important. But if you're looking for, if you're looking to an area that doesn't have, it's not expensive, if you're looking for an area where it's not that crowded, do not move to South Palm Beach. Palm Beach, paradise here in South Florida.